You're catching the drift. Conservative talk, intelligent conversations on local, state, and national issues with Gary Wellings. Join in the conversation. And now, your host, Gary Wellings.
Hey, and welcome to another edition of the Drift On Podcast. Good to have you along for the ride with me. It's Friday evening, and man, I've spent the last hour, I think, working on my studio setup here. It's just frustrating, man. Now you understand why all these producers get paid the big money, right? Because it's not easy doing what we do here. So anyways, welcome to the Drift. What we do on the Drift is go over the news that we put on the dailydrift.com. And if you're not going there, you should. It's the news you need to know. www.thedailydrift.com. Good news aggregate website. If you've noticed, the Drudge report has gotten a little, I don't know if it's anti-Trump. I don't know if it's gone a little leftist. I don't know if Matt Drudge is just not feeling well, if he's been compromised in some way. All right, I'm putting my tin foil on a little bit. But anyways, I just don't understand what's kind of happened with the Drudge Report anymore, so I'm trying not to spend any time there if I can help it. But I do the work for you. I get out and find headlines from around the world and across the country and try to bring them to you, the stuff you don't see on the mainstream media and all that crap that they're giving you. So anyways, welcome to the show, and what a wild, crazy week it's been with impeachment. And you should be aggravated. America, it's time to get aggravated, get motivated, and get out and do something about what these liberals, these Democrats are trying to do to our country, trying to destroy the country, frankly. And if you're not out there being aggravated and getting motivated to do something this election season, boy, you need to, because it's on each and every one of us to make that difference. You know, we need to, the first thing each and every one of us has got to do, and I've been wanting to scream this all week, is stop voting Democratic. Folks, just stop. Stop hurting yourself, stop hurting your children, stop hurting your grandchildren. Stop hurting the future of the country, because that's what, and I don't care if it's at the school board level. I don't care if it's at the state level or the county level, or the township level, and definitely at the federal level. It's got to stop. The country that you and I grew up in, the country that our parents and our grandparents grew up in, the country that our great-grandparents came to have a better life, is systematically being destroyed by Democrats. If you don't see that, you must be blind. Take a look at the Adam Schiffs in Washington, the Nancy Pelosi's in Washington, the Chuck Schumers in Washington, the Gerald Nadlers in Washington. And it's not just them, it's the bought and paid for media. These people are obviously on the same side, right? If you can't see that, there's something wrong with you. Folks, this is not just me. There's no tinfoil here. There is something specifically wrong with the country when I want to say the strongest party in America has been is the Democrats, because they always seem to run roughshod over the Republicans, has gone completely anti-American. We've seen it over the last few weeks. They're defending Iran. They're defending terrorism. They're defending all the things that are un-American. And if you're not seeing it, there's something seriously wrong with your vision or your hearing, because it's there, it's in plain sight in front of you, and each and every one of us has a job in 2020. And that job is to support Donald Trump and to support every Republican member of Congress you can. And don't get me wrong, I understand that there are some Republicans who are just, they're no better than the Democrats. There's some rhinos, some globalists, some elitists. There's some guys, they call themselves conservatives. They're not conservative by any stretch of the imagination. And this stuff just needs to end. So you've got a primary season to get rid of those guys. Do your best. But in the end, come general election, whether your guy made it through the primaries or not, you need to take a serious look and vote Republican. This year, I'm not a straight ticket guy. I really am not. I'm not a straight ticket guy. I don't think I've ever voted a straight ticket. I'm 55 this year. I don't think since I was 18 and able to vote that I've ever voted straight ticket, because I was raised to look at the person, judge them on their plans, their actions, their character, what they say to some point. But I've never pulled a straight ticket lever in my life. And for 2020, I think I'm going to save myself a lot of aggravation. And if I don't get my absentee ballot, I'm going to go in proudly and I'm going straight ticket. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. My polling location, I think, is still on paper ballots, as I recall. And, it's paper ballots, and you feed it into the little machine yourself. But I'm straight ticketing it. There's no ifs, ands, or buts in my book. I mean, I always used to like to take those, the college and the university where we pick our trustees and stuff for the universities. And I would kind of split them up among the libertarians, the constitutionalists. Hardly ever a Democrat, unless I knew them personally, knew that they weren't a douchebag, in which case you might actually get me to vote for a Democrat. But I don't think I've done that in probably 15, 20 years now myself, because there are no good Democrats anymore. Really? If there is one, please let me know. Love to get them on the show, give them an honest break. You know, if you're an old school Democrat and you're a John Kennedy Democrat, please. I'll be happy to get you on the Drift Radio Show, and you can reach out to me at Gary@thedailydrift.com, and we'll get you on. Man, I'll give anybody an honest shake. If you're honest with me, I'll give it to you. I don't like sandbagging anybody either. You know, you're a Democrat or a Republican that I may not trust. If you're worried about coming on the show, man, I'll give you a list of questions I'm going to ask you. That's how honest I am. I'm not out to sandbag and make any points on it. I want people to know the truth. And I think that's what they should do on the debates, frankly. You know, don't try and sandbag people and get you the gotcha moment in a debate. Give each and every one of these candidates a list. Hey, this is what we're going to ask. Prepare yourself for it so that we can get a good, honest answer from you. I don't want to catch anybody. I want to know what your true thoughts are. And if you have to have a few minutes to put that on a 5x3 card, then knock yourself out. Tell me what your plans are, make your promise to me, and keep it. Donald Trump sure did. Right? Donald Trump has made promises and kept promises. I think it's like well over 300, depending on how you watch. But I mean, it's an incredible amount of promises that this non-politician did for us and is doing for us on a daily basis. A guy, by the way, who does not take anything but $1 in salary. Now, I know, he's a billionaire. What does he need that $450,000 salary for anyway? Barack Obama took it and somehow parlayed it into millions and millions of dollars. Like every other Donald Trump is the first president to come into office and lose money. He will leave, whether it's in 4 years or 8 years, he will leave the office of the presidency worth less, net value less, than when he went into office. Now, Gary's going to write a book. Well, sure he is. Like he doesn't need any more money anyways. I'm sure he will write a book because he's going to set the record straight. Why wouldn't he want to set the record straight? But that's going to happen. He's going to set the record straight. He's going to write his book. He'll get it out there. He'll probably have somebody help write the book. I'm sure he's just too busy to probably do all the other stuff that's going on. But this is a guy who donates his salary every quarter to different parts of the government that need it. He's donated to the veterans, I think. He's donated to the national parks. This is what Donald Trump has done for 3 years now. And imagine a guy coming into office like this and suffering the slings and arrows and the nasty abuse that his own party gave him during the primary process, that to this day the rhinos and the never-Trumpers and the global elitists and the alleged conservatives, the neocons, are still, Bill Kristol, Jonah Goldberg, all these guys at the Dispatch. Have you seen the new Dispatch, Jonah Goldberg and crew? They suck. There's a bunch of never-Trumpers coming up with whatever. You know what? You suck. National Review went out of business, I think, because they were all so never-Trumper. And they lost the Republicans who used to read that garbage. Don't let these neocons, these elitists who think, and that's what it comes down to, right? That's what I personally have friends who call themselves conservatives, who call themselves, some of them Republicans, who despise Donald Trump. They despise him. Oh, he's not good enough to be president. He's too rude. He's crude. He's socially unacceptable. Well, you just described me. Deplorable, socially unacceptable, rude, crude. You don't like the way I speak? I speak plain. It's that simple. I don't put on airs. I'm not a fancy... Do I own a tux? Yes, I do. And I've worn it probably a couple dozen times in my life. But I'm not that upper echelon elite 1% global elite. I don't consider myself better than anybody. I've worked blue collar jobs. I've worked construction. I've worked. I'm a white collar guy now in the auto industry. I've done it all. I've bartended. I've washed dishes. I've cooked. I've been a short order cook. Imagine that. I'm not a bad cook at home either when you come to think about it. But I'm an average guy. And like 63 million average guys and gals in the country that voted for Donald Trump in 2016, a lot of them to this day still won't admit it. Still won't admit it because they don't want people judging them for voting for a guy that people think is not good enough to be our president of the United States. Well, bull crap on that. Donald Trump is who he is. He doesn't put on airs. If you don't like him, you don't like him. I didn't hire him to be liked. I hired him to make the tough choices, the tough decisions, and he's done it. Time and time again over the last 3 years, Donald Trump has been the guy who's made the right decisions. Even in our own group, our own inner circle here at the Drift, regular listeners and stuff, I've seen it all. From the day he came down to the escalator, we've had people who didn't like Trump. He was third, fourth, if he was anywhere on their choice for a president. But they've all come around to the point. Are they always happy with him on a daily basis? No. Are there days when I actually cringe on a certain tweet here and there? Yes. But I wouldn't change any of it for the world. The results that Donald J. Trump has given us over the last few years are absolutely phenomenal. He has done things for us that no other president, not even Ronald Reagan, who's our Saint Reagan, right, for the Republican Party. Better than Reagan. Tons more successes. How many people could have brought North Korea to the table? Donald Trump did. They said he couldn't do it because he went at him with, little rocket man, abused him, whatever. Got under his skin. And within a year, met him, visited Korea, got him to stop firing missiles. Now he's firing rockets again. And will they fire missiles? There's nothing set in stone. But I have to believe that what Donald Trump and his negotiators did, and that includes Pompeo, going to Korea, they've made huge inroads and successes with Korea. Because if they've done nothing else in his 4 or 8 years, if they've done nothing else with Korea, they've planted a seed in the mind of a dictator, Kim Jong-un, and said, you know what, there's something else. You can do better. You can be better. You can do more for your country. And maybe in Kim Jong-un's mind and his generals' minds, it's just we can be super wealthy by exploiting our country in a different manner that's peaceful as opposed to being the scourge of the hermit kingdom of the world. You know what I mean? Something happened there. And Donald Trump went in and he did it. And the opportunity was there. Because you see a guy like Dennis Rodman, okay, just one of America's celebrity oddballs. Dennis Rodman, I don't think he's even really wanted in Hollywood or or in the popularity scene of celebrity status in sports. Dennis Rodman